What's going on, everybody? My name is Monster, and welcome to the NCL Season 3 Coach Profiles, Episode 12, I believe. In today's episode, I'm joined by the coach of the Cleveland Escavaliers, another returning coach. I think you were in Season 1. If you weren't, then I'm high. Pretty sure you were in Season 1. Rudiger67 or Dom? What's up, man?
Not much. How you doing, Austin?
I'm good, man. I'm tired. I gotta wake up in like 7 hours to go to a state fair tomorrow, but sleep is for the weak. Um, all right, so we're gonna get into the first question, Mister Returning Coach. Okay, so from the start of season 2, right, like week 1 to now, how do you feel you've improved since then?
Um, I feel like the way I've prepped has kind of improved because I've started to learn and realize how um, just based on looking on an opponent's team, what the best options to counter my team are. So based on that, I'm able to build a team that would be able to counter what my opponent is trying to counter against me.
Okay, so more meticulous prep, I would say, is what you're going for there. Uh,
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I feel you. I know Ben said the same thing in his interview that I'm not even sure is live yet. I don't think it is, but yours will be live like 3 days after his, so it's fine. Um, but yeah, prepping is something that is definitely pretty hard. I know me personally, I kind of just kind of throw mons that I think are good, and then I'll do like general EV spreads, and then I'll adjust from there like later after I get some input from people because
Right.
yeah. Um, All right, so next question. Uh, you predicted yourself to either A, make playoffs, or B, go even. I think you said you were going to make playoffs. That was your prediction for your season. Um,
That part was right. I think my other prediction was to have a like an over 500 record.
yeah, okay. Did you meet that goal? Why or why not?
I met the making playoffs goal barely, but I just felt like after I had my kind of landslide in the past the midpoint of the season, I finally woke up myself and realized I got to start trying a little bit harder to make sure I can get into playoffs. And the as far as the second prediction, I didn't get an over 500, but I did break it 6-6. But again, that goes back to kind of poor play on my end. Like I didn't play as well as I could have against. It was Phil, then Magic, then Cade. I lost three straight and to pretty high differentials. I think it was like at least four that at least like a -4 differential that I lost against those three. So it was not good, especially with the way that I'd started the season off.
Yeah, I
But
definitely.
I was able to manage and rebound back. So I'm happy about that.
That is true. You made it to semis where we met. Um,
Indeed.
was a good couple of matches we played this season. Um,
For sure, yeah. I think both of our matches actually came down to like the very end with our last Mons.
For sure, yeah. I think I beat you 1-0 in the I beat you 1-0 in the regular season, and then I beat you 2-0 in playoffs. So
Yeah, that's right. Because I remember in the semis, Mega Altaria didn't really hit
yeah,
the
it
field that
literally never hit the
not if
field.
at all. I don't think.
Yeah, it was the Victini show basically.
Yeah, Victini did put in the work for you.
um, okay, so next question. Were you satisfied with how you played last season at NCL?
Like I mentioned before, I had some games where I played really well, as, like mainly against Daniel with the Seattle Star Raptors, uh, and then week two when I 6-0 J. Those games I felt like I played extremely well, but then, like I said, about the midpoint of the season, I kind of fell apart. I wasn't uh, making the reads that I thought were more obvious. It was a little bit more overthinking, probably. If I now I'm looking back at it, but um, I was more satisfied when I started to rebound back and get the wins and differential I needed to make it into playoffs.
Okay, I definitely understand that. So it's like you probably want to improve on the consistency, right?
Right.
Um,
I don't want to like have a few good games in a row and then all of a sudden have bad games. I want to try to consistently stay at least good. I don't want to like overshoot myself and like say, "Oh, I have to win." Like I'm fine with losing, but if I'm losing 4-0 or 5-0, then that shows that it's kind of poor playing on my end.
right. Definitely makes sense. I know that's something that I need to improve on as well. Since I lost like I think it was 7 of my 8 last games this season, which was just great, by the way. Um,
Yeah.
all right, so next question. What do you think of the new coaches coming into NCL this season?
I think there's some pretty nice and respectable people. Um, I haven't really like one-on-one talked with any of them yet, but just from like general conversations that we have in the NCL chat, like these all seem like really chill people, and I'm excited to play against them in this upcoming season and
Yeah,
see what kind of competition they bring to the table.
yeah, man. I think it's gonna be really interesting to watch the 4 like CCBL coaches. So those would be Shade, Tiff, Ace, and Dupiter. Because from what I
Yeah,
understand, Dupiter is good, but he's kind of has like limited experience in leagues. I mean, he won his first ever league in CCBL. He beat Jed in the
oh, I
finals,
actually did not
ironically.
know that.
Huh?
That's pretty good. Good for him.
Yeah, dude. And then Shade is also from CCBL. He's been playing for a long time. Uh, and then Ace is basically brand new. He's been in 3 leagues, but he has 1 win all time. That's a
Oof,
big Pepe hands. Um,
big Pepe hands.
and then Tiff this is her second league ever. Uh,
Yeah,
so
I did hear about that. Yeah, that this is her second draft league. So,
yeah,
but
so I
I'm
think
hoping that they at least learn a lot from this. Like this will be good experience for them because I feel like with the people we have in NCL, I feel like we have some good competition
yeah for
with
sure, especially
people like
since like
you.
yeah. So like there's like Eco and Jamesy coming in this season as well that are only going to add to that competition as well. So I think
Right,
it's going to be really good. I think we have like really good top end competition and we have like good low end competition. And I don't want to call them low end, but like because that's kind of like derogatory. But
right.
I feel like between those 4, they're going to be pretty competitive between each other. If that makes sense. And then like
Yeah,
stuff like that. So I think it'll be good.
yeah. I have to agree with that.
All right. So next question. What are you looking forward to the most this season of NCL?
Um, honestly, looking to try out some new mons. Like when it came to the time for franchising, I thought about franchising like 2 potential mons, but I decided to not to because I wanted to keep the points so that way I could try to maybe draft some things that I've never used before and see what else I have to work with. Even though I always say that I'm going to draft Megazard X again this season, like I probably won't. But hey, I mean, if I happen to stumble upon it in like round 2 or 3, that it might fit the direction of my team, like I might go for it again. But no, there's still definitely a lot of megas that I want to try. Um, so I don't know. We'll just have to see. But being the 11th pick out of 16 is going to be kind of tough, but I'm sure I can make it work.
Yeah, I actually was just gonna ask you what pick you were because I'm trying to dodge a bullet out here. I'm picking a mega first round. I'll tell you about it after the video. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, I think there's a lot of cool stuff that's up this season, which I actually have a question about. So I think it's gonna be really interesting to see how those mons are played and how well they perform and stuff.
Right.
Next question, which is the exact question that I was just referring to. A lot of broken mons were allowed this season. So just to list them off really quickly, we have Eternal Floette, Hoopa Unbound, both of the Megalottes, Mega Mawile, and Aegislash with no King Shield. Which of these do you think is the most broken, and why?
I feel, well, from what I've heard with Eternal Floette, I know its signature move is like insanely good and I can't talk. Extremely powerful. So
Yeah, it's called Light of Ruin, and it has a really high base power. It does have a recoil, so it's like a special version of like a Flare Blitz for fairies. Uh,
okay,
but it's really good. Let me look at the base power real quick.
isn't it like 180 or something?
It's
Maybe
really
that's a
high.
little.
Yeah,
I feel
140.
like it's definitely
140.
like around 150 or higher.
Yeah, it's 140.
Oh, 140. Okay,
Yeah, with an
so I was a
accuracy of
little
90.
exaggerated. Ah, wow.
But it's a really strong move. Like, that's 100% worth it.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like, I feel like Eternal Follette might be a little bit troublesome. Who knows? I mean, we'll have to see. Um, Honestly, like, I feel, in my personal opinion, that the Mega Lotties and Mega Mawile should have been allowed in Draft League like seasons ago. Like, well, not seasons is the wrong word. I'd probably say like at least a year or two in the past because like yeah they're broken in like Smogon tiers, but it's like even then like they're starting to fall in usage on Smogon and Showdown, so it's like I know Draft Leagues is a completely different type of battling style, but I don't know. I don't feel like they're insanely broken. Like they're really really good. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like that teams can be can prep against them if the coach knows what they have to do to counter those megas. And then as far as Aegislash, I'm kind of indifferent with it. Like obviously, not allowing it to have King Shield makes it a little bit more fair. But I mean, being able to switch its stats with its stance change, it is going to be pretty powerful. But if I'm correct me if I'm wrong on this, but isn't its base speed like really slow or something?
It
It's
is
like 50,
50.
isn't it? Yeah. So I mean, the speed of it is really what kind of like balances it out. But even then, like stab, shadow sneak, and like if you get a sword stance up with it, like yeah, that can potentially sweep teams. But I don't know. I feel like with this stuff that we allowed this season, it's definitely going to change the style of how some of the more experienced players are going to draft because they're going to look and see who drafts each of these, like I guess more broken mons, like in most people's eyes, and see like how they would be able to build around, like combating those megas and the Eternal Floette and Aegislash.
Yes. So, from what I understand, Eternal Floette is kind of just a better Florges. It has slightly less Spadef, but more offensive stats. It's only lacking Defog, I believe, in comparison to Florges.
Okay, I gotcha.
Aegislash, I had in LET. I'm saying had because I do plan on dropping it. I don't think it's all that impressive. Admittedly, I didn't really use it too much as a setup sweeper. I kind of brought more bulkier variants, not necessarily defensive, but more bulky like max HP and stuff like that. Um,
Right.
and I was not impressed with it at all. It did put in work for me against Eco, I will say. This past week it was pretty solid, I think. It's probably Aegislash's like highlight match. But I don't think it's all that great. And speaking of the Megalodios dropping in usage, Megalodios just dropped to UU, which is undoubtedly going to be banned.
Oh yeah, it's definitely gonna have to be like borderline UU. There's no way it's gonna last more than a week in UU.
Yeah, definitely not. They're going to insta-ban that to UUBL, which is sad because UU is every time something drops to UU, they're like, ban it. So yeah. All right, next question. How do you feel about the overall tiering this season?
um, I don't remember too much about some of the tiering changes. Honestly, I know. What was it?
It was stuff like I'm pretty sure Zera moved to tier 2.
Yeah,
Meloetta
that's
moved up.
honestly fine. I mean, like in all honesty, Zero Aura wasn't really in the best hands for usage. Like, I'm not trying to talk down on the coach. Well, it really coach is because it did get traded to somebody else.
Yes, I think he
I
was
think it's
traded
like,
from Corona to Magic.
yeah, that's what it was. Like, I'm not saying that they used it bad, but I feel like if the right coach drafts it and is able to utilize it, like maybe that could potentially swing the position of where it could land in the tiers. But just based on this past season of where we had Zero Aura, like I feel like tier two is fine for that. Um, I'm trying to think because I don't think there was really anything that stood out to me at least too much with the tiering changes. Like I felt like everything was um, pretty fair.
Okay.
I don't know. I'd have to look back and check all the tiering changes again to see what all exactly changed.
Yeah, I don't particularly remember what was moved around and stuff. I need to cough again. Oh man, it's just it. I can feel it in my chest, and I have to do it. Um,
Oh man,
but that totally broke my train of thought. I had something I was gonna say. Um,
you're saying that
oh,
you
did
were
you see the Mount Silver replay today?
for your match?
No, no, no. For it was I think it was Gook versus Magma Pulse or something like that.
I I have not seen it yet. No.
There was a play where someone had Zero Aura in, right, and they set up a bulk up, and then as that happened, the person on the other side switched into Como, and then the Zero Aura used bounce, right? So it goes up in the air, it becomes untargetable. Guess what Como goes for? All out
What?
pummeling. Whiffs the all out pummeling and insta dies to bounce the next turn, and then Zero Aura goes on to sweep two other mons. That play was crazy, bro. I was like, what? I didn't even know Zero Aura got bounce and you
Neither did
bounced a
I.
Z move. Like, good lord. It was crazy. I
Now
had
I'm
to talk
definitely
about
gonna
that.
have to check out that
It was
replay.
a sick replay, dude. Sick replay. Um, all right, next question. Okay, so these are like the two personalized questions that I made just for you. What kind of music does your band produce, and what is your role in the band?
All right. So, well, first off, I want to say the band name's called "Where's Winona Now." It's kind of like a old written off Winona Ryder joke that uh, came about when the band was formed. Um, I joined the band back in May because the original guitarist quit, and so the kind of music that they produced was more pop punk, like more probably more on the punk side. But ever since I've been in the band for the past 5 months, we've been working more on like hard rock stuff. I'm the guitarist and I do some backup vocals. And for the newer music we've written, I've done all the composing for, and our singer writes all the lyrics. So she basically gives me the lyrics, and based on those, I try to figure out something to go with it. So far, we got about 5 or 6 new songs written, and we're hoping to get a new album recorded and done around January. So you'll have to stay tuned for that.
That's what's up, man. I've always thought being in a band would be kind of cool. Because I don't know if you know, but I've been singing like my whole life. But I've never been in like a band. Like I've been in church bands, if you even want to call them bands. Um, but singing is definitely something that I've always loved to do. But being in a band would be really cool. Seems like it's a really cool experience to have, you know?
Oh yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. Like, I mean, when I was in high school, I did the theater department, or I guess drama club is another way you could call it.
Right.
And like, just from doing that, I've just loved performing for people. So, my first band was actually formed back in 2012, and that was a lot of fun. And then it kind of like fell off from being a band in a while up until now. So, like, with the direction that we're headed, like I'm really excited for, because I really would like to go around the states and tour and see all the sites that there is, and then maybe eventually tour the world.
Heck yeah, man, that would be pretty cool for sure. Um, yeah. So next question. How hard was it getting your engineering degree?
Well, let's put it this way: in any kind of engineering you go into in college, whether it be mechanical, civil, electrical, chemical, don't plan on sleeping at all or very little. Like, there's been plenty of nights that I have stayed up all night on for projects, homework. It's mainly a lot of math, but ever since I graduated back in May, and I was able to find a job right out of college, which was very convenient and local too, which was the even better part. And just I'm able to apply everything I've learned in college to what I'm doing, which is structural steel design. So I'm really happy that at least all those nights that I've had little to no sleep are finally paying off.
That seems fantastic, honestly. I know
Oh,
getting a
you're
degree
telling
is
me.
like a really long process. You have to really grind to get it, and I'm sure seeing all that work come to fruition is definitely like feels really good, man.
Oh yeah, like, and there are some colleges where the engineering degree programs would take like 5 years, maybe very rarely 6 years. But the nice thing about the college I went to, they have it set up to where you can graduate in 4 years with college with your degree. You're taking about 15 to 16 credit hours a semester, but like I said, like, as long as you can grind it out and fight through it, it'll be worth it in the end.
That's what's up. Definitely a good mentality to have in life in general, to be honest. Um,
Indeed.
all right, so that is the end of the interview. Thank you very much for joining me, of course. Um, I apologize for all the coughing. I have been trying to not do that during the episodes, but sometimes I have a cough and it's hard to keep it down, I guess. Um,
Hey, sometimes you just gotta let it out.
yeah. All right, so that was the episode 12 of the NCL Season 3 Coach Profile series where I interview coaches. Hopefully, you guys got to know Dom a little bit better. That is the whole idea of the series. Um, and yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching the video. Have a nice day. Dom, take us home.
All right. Thanks, guys, and have a great time.